Look, let's be honest, nobody likes talking about financial fraud. It's about as fun as a root canal performed by a mime. But here's the thing, we can't afford to ignore it. Financial fraud is more common than you might think. It's like that annoying housefly at a picnic. It just keeps buzzing around looking for an opening to ruin your day. And these scams? They come in all shapes and sizes. We're talking about everything from identity theft to credit card fraud, phishing scams to investment schemes. These con artists are like the Swiss Army knives of the criminal world. They've got a tool for every occasion, and they aren't afraid to use them. So what are we, the responsible citizens of the world, supposed to do? Well, the first step is awareness. We need to wise up to the tricks of the trade, recognize the red flags, and learn how to protect ourselves. Think of it like this. You wouldn't walk through a dark alleyway blindfolded, would you? The good news is, just like there are ways to stay safe in a sketchy alley, there are ways to protect yourself from financial fraud. And that, my friends, is what we're going to delve into right now. Buckle up. Alright folks, first things first. Staying informed about the latest scams is like having a superpower against financial fraudsters. It's like having a cheat sheet for a test you didn't study for. Except in this case, the test is your financial well-being. Think of it this way, these scammers, they're not dummies. They're constantly evolving their tactics, coming up with new and creative ways to part you from your hard-earned cash. It's like they have a monthly brainstorming session where they sit around with a whiteboard, cackling maniacally as they invent new ways to swindle innocent people. That's why you gotta stay one step ahead. You need to be in the know about the latest cons, the newest tricks, the freshest scams out there. Where do you get this intel, you ask? Well, there are loads of resources out there. Government websites, consumer protection agencies, even reputable financial institutions. These organizations are like the fraud-busting superheroes of the internet, constantly updating their websites and sending out alerts about new threats. So, do yourself a favor and make it a habit to check in with them regularly. Think of it as your civic duty to stay informed and help protect yourself and those around you. Now, let's talk about your personal information. This is the gold in your Fort Knox, the crown jewels in your Tower of London. Treat it like the precious commodity it is. We're talking about your social security number, your bank account details, your credit card numbers, even your mother's maiden name, you know, for all those pesky security questions. This information is the holy grail for scammers. Get your hands on this and they can wreak havoc on your life. So how do you keep this information safe? Well, it's all about being cautious. Don't just hand out your personal details to anyone who asks for them. Think of it like this. If a stranger on the street asked for your house keys, would you just hand them over? Of course not. Be wary of unsolicited phone calls, emails, or text messages asking for your personal information. Legitimate organizations will never contact you out of the blue and demand this kind of information. If in doubt, hang up, delete the email, or ignore the text. Better safe than sorry, right? Okay, let's talk tech security, folks. Specifically, passwords and two-factor authentication. Think of your online accounts like your house, and your passwords are the keys. Now, would you secure your house with a flimsy piece of cardboard, or would you go for a sturdy, reinforced steel door? The same principle applies to your passwords. Weak, easily guessable passwords are like open invitations for hackers. Use strong, unique passwords for each of your online accounts. I know it's a pain to remember a million different passwords, but thankfully we live in a world with password managers, which are like those handy keychains that keep all your keys organized. And don't even get me started on two-factor authentication. This, my friends, is the equivalent of installing a top-of-the-line security system in your house. It adds an extra layer of protection by requiring you to enter a unique code from your phone or email in addition to your password. Sure, it might seem like an extra step, but trust me, it's worth the hassle. It's like having a guard dog for your online accounts. So, do yourself a favor and enable two-factor authentication wherever possible.